Can you smell that? Yup, it's pumpkin spice, so you know it's the fall. So if you're new to Delaware or if you already live in Delaware, you may be wondering, what is there to do in the fall? You're in luck. That's exactly what I'm going over in today's video. So you definitely want to stick around if you want to have an awesome autumn. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Brandon Windom and I help people buy and sell homes here in Delaware. And on this channel, I go over what it's like living here in Delaware. And if you're thinking of buying or selling a home here in Delaware, I'd definitely love to have a conversation to see if it made sense for us to potentially work together. So I actually put all my info on screen now, and then I'll leave it again in the description below. Now, let's fall back into autumn. Here in Delaware during the fall, there's no shortage of things to do. So I'm gonna start off with some of the most easy and cheap things to do. And that's gonna be just enjoying the Delaware landscape in the fall. Delaware has no shortage of places to frolic in the foliage. In Newcastle County, the northernmost part of the state, you have Brandywine Creek State Park, which has plenty of trails to explore, and they actually have 4 different nature preserves that actually look especially beautiful in the fall time. Or you have White Clay State Park that offers lush fall views all throughout its trails, but it has something a little bit different in a challenging biking trail that'll challenge even some of the most experienced riders. And if you head a bit more south into the middle of the state, you're gonna run into places like Killen State Pond in Felton, or Trap Pond in Laurel. Both offer plenty of scenic trails to explore, fishing, canoeing, and even kayaking. And one thing worth noting about those state parks is that during this time of the year, they usually have fun seasonal events such as hay rides, educational tours, and even late night spooky hikes. And speaking of spooky, you know, as soon as the leaves change, it's time to break out the skeletons and the pumpkins. And Delaware has a ton of Halloween themed activities for all ages. The first and the probably most notable that I have to mention has gotta be Frightland in Middletown. Now, if you're from Delaware, you probably already have either been or know about Frightland, but for everyone who hasn't, it's a Delaware staple that Halloween thrill seekers have been going to for decades. On the 150-acre property, they have 8 different haunted attractions that range from all different types of experiences, such as the Horror Hayride, Ravenwood Cemetery, and even Zombie Town. Or if almost having a heart attack isn't your thing, but you still want to participate in Halloween events, another Delaware staple is the annual Sea Witch and Fiddlers Festival in Rehoboth. They usually hold it every year in late October, and it's a great family fun 2-day event. And it offers a little bit of everything for everyone. They have a costume parade, a broom throwing contest, magic shows, trick-or-treating. And when I say they have something for everyone, I mean everyone. You can even bring the dog along. They actually have a dog parade as well that they do. Speaking of festivals, Delaware loves their festivals, and there's no shortage of them in the fall. One of the most notable ones is actually the Apple Scrapple Festival that's held in Bridgeville every year. Now, if you're not from the East Coast, you may not even know what Scrapple is, but this is a great time to go out and try it out. Again, it's another 2-day event with plenty of vendors and activities to do. They have apple tossing, ladies skillet toss, a car show, a trade show, a craft show, a carnival, and you can't forget about all the food vendors showcasing their different Scrapple and apple delicacies. Another great one is Fall Fest at Pfeiffer Orchards in Camden, Wyoming, Delaware. So typically Pfeiffer Orchards is just a local farm that's a great place to get high quality produce and vegetables. But during the fall, they go all out and they start their Fall Fest, which runs from the end of September till early November. And when I say they go all out, I really mean it. They have daily weekday activities such as you can explore corn mazes, they have U-Play activities for the kids, you can go apple picking or pumpkin picking, and on top of that, the farm store is open to where though you can get some of that delicious apple cider and those addicting apple cider donuts. And it doesn't even end there. On the weekends, they actually add even more activities such as tractor trailer rides, they bring in baby farm animals, they have face painting, and then they bring out the apple cannons. Now you're probably thinking, Brandon, all the family stuff is cool, but is there anything for adults to do during the fall? And don't worry, I got you covered. Now, Delaware has a ton of breweries all throughout the state, and you can't mention beer in fall without talking about Oktoberfest. And Delaware has plenty of Oktoberfest happenings all throughout the state, but there's 2 major ones that kind of come to mind. I just want to say sorry in advance for butchering these names, but the first one that comes to mind is the Sagerbund Oktoberfest that's actually held in Newark, Delaware. And it's a big event. It usually lasts about 2 or 3 days, and it comes complete with traditional German delicacies, a Bavarian dance group, imported gifts and souvenirs, and plenty of beer, and you can't forget about the lederhosen. Now, the other notable Oktoberfest is actually in Dover, and they call that Oktoberfest. And it's another beer and music festival that has a ton of local vendors, great food, and music. So, as you can see, there's no shortage of things to do in the fall in Delaware that are actually quite affordable. Speaking of affordable, if you're wondering about what the cost of living here in Delaware is, I actually made a video discussing it right here.